especially the workshops.
That's indeed a good news for everyone, Alyssa. And I'm sure the students like us are excited to learn new things in the company of our fellow students. Speaking of more, what is really the meaning of the more? What is Magis?
That's a good question, Zeth. Students have a lot of misconceptions about Magis, so this is an opportunity to clarify what Magis really means. The Ignatian Magis is choosing the most loving option in our actions and decisions out of our love for God. Without this love for God and love of God, the more is not Magis.
Meaning, the more is not about having more or doing more until you get exhausted. It is about quantity or excellence. Contrary to what people understand about Magis, neither is it about settling for the minimum and being complacent after having achieved so.
Magis is love of God and for God. And what better way to do Magis than by serving God's people, especially the poor and marginalized, as a way to love and glorify God. That's Magis, and we, Athenians, are called to discover and live out the more loving option in our everyday lives.
Given this theme, the ACP topics are carefully chosen to be relevant to the current times, formative and mission-driven. And at the end of the webinars and e-workshops, the ACP hopes for the following objectives. First, acquire knowledge and/or skills that are relevant to one's interest, talent, skill, passion, or advocacy. Second, relate or share the learning and insight gained from the topic or activity in conversation or dialogue and personal reflection.
Third, examine the importance of one's interest, talent, skill, passion, or advocacy to the development of the society. And fourth, seek ways or opportunities by which the gained knowledge and skills can be further advanced and used for the benefit of the immediate organization, community, or larger society.
For now, we would like you to listen to the speakers sharing.
And please take part in the conversation during and even after the event.
Strive for more. Be persons of Magis and service. And don't forget to learn and have fun while we experience ACP Athenians.
Right. Good morning to all the wonderful people in the Zoom meeting. And welcome to another edition to a plethora of insightful and relevant topics from the Alternative Class Programs, webinar, and workshop series, complete with online and in-person topics, all of which are varied and unique experiences. I know we all long for a break and quick escape from our conventional classroom routines. So we are glad that every semester, the Office of Student Affairs and its partners organize the Alternative Class Program, or ACP, for us students to participate in. There are various formative classes we can choose from a wide array of interests. We can see that Ateneo hears us. We know that not everything can be learned inside the virtual halls and the four corners of our rooms. So we hope that you will have fun and also carry the lessons you'll get from the ACP you've chosen. Okay? Before anything else, I would like to remind everyone of our house rules. First, we request that all participants mute their microphones to avoid distracting the speaker and, of course, your fellow participants. However, you are highly encouraged to open your cameras if possible. Second, if you have any questions or queries regarding the topic or the speaker themselves, feel free to send your message through the Zoom chat. And of course, we are also live on the AdNew Osas YouTube channel. So hello to our YouTube streamers. Please do not hesitate to send your messages or questions so that we can entertain them later in the open forum, right? And of course, important note for everyone's information, in order for you to get your e-certificate, you have to stay with us throughout the entire session. And of course, answer the evaluation form that will be sent by our staff later on, right? To start our event, we invite everyone for the opening prayer. So our Catholic friends, please do the sign of faith.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear God, we thank you for today and the fresh chance to know, love, and serve you and your people. We thank you for the gifts of life, talents, and persons that you have divinely placed in our lives. We thank you for Ignatian spirituality and the missions of the Society of Jesus and the Ateneo de Naga University. We thank you for our being Ateneans and the unique education and formation and purpose that comes with our identity and values. We thank you for the generosity of your people, especially our speakers and the people who worked hard to make the alternative class program possible. We thank you for our fellow learners and friends who shall take part in enriching conversations and inspiring actions after the event. As we all journey together in new beginnings, continuations, and transitions, may we draw inspiration from the learning we shall gain from ACP and other formation programs. Open our hearts and minds and refresh our memories so that we may discover what you are calling us to do in the innumerable details, concerns, and hopes that we have today. With courage and joy, may we strive for the more, the Magus. That is to strive to know you more intimately, that I may know you more dearly and follow him more closely. May the many crises in our midst not paralyze us. Instead, may it embolden us. May we truly find you in all things, including our own struggles and afflictions, and may we graciously and humbly receive your merciful and reassuring love. We pray for all these in the name of Jesus Christ, with the intercession of Our Lady of Peña Francia and Saint Ignatius of Loyola. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Right, well, hey, welcome once again. Now let's have a short preparatory activity before the talk proper. And of course, to our participants, kindly check your Zoom settings, right? Your mic is mute, and your camera, if you are not going to open, please check, right? So again, back to our preparatory activity. We would like to know a few things before we start. And for you to send your thoughts or answers, you can go to www.mentimeter.com and enter the code that is flashed on the screen, or you may click the link that is shared in the chat box. Yeah, so that's the code. 4308-1859, or you can scan the QR code, right? Once you do, you are prompted with the question. And here is our question. We would like to know, what changes in your environment have you noticed? Just your quick proximity lang, yung dyan lang sa your home from where you are, right? So if I were to give example, siguro from where I am right now, very few people have plants in their homes or like that. Or there are less trees now on the roadside like that. So let us know. Let's see if our participants are very, perceptive sa kanilang environment. Sige. Sige. Oh, first, hindi na fresh ang hair. Ay, ang air. Ang hair, oh my God. Ang air or hangin, heist. True, hindi na super, kumbaga, freshing i-inhale, kumbaga. Parang may something different now, no? And warmer weather, yes, that is very true. Di ba, ang burr months it's supposed to make you burr. It's like, it needs to be cold. Pero ngayon, sometimes ang init. It's hotter and more polluted. True, that is true. Less greenery, that is very true. The weather, yes, it's changing a lot of damo outside. Yeah, that is very good. Kung madami ang damo outside, that means madami ang plants. It's become hotter, unlike before. Yes, December na, super init na. Yes, pa December na, pa Christmas na, guys. Pero wala pa yung lamig. Kasing lamig nung, basta, iba to. Let's see, it's hot or warmer weather, unpredictable weather patterns, that is true. Minsan hapon, minsan umaga, minsan gabi. It's very rattling na iba-ibang ang weather natin. Road widenings and pagkat ng mga puno na nasa road. True. Di ba, maganda naman sana na nagbibiyahe ka, tapos nakikita mo na yung foliage ng trees is covering you, parang sa Ateneo, yung mga covered walk, kumbaga tree covered walk, no? Ganda. Very aesthetic yan, no? Pollution, Gine, true. Windy these days, oh, very good na windy sa inyo. More houses are built, trees are cut for pathways, true. More of us are housing, pero this is related na din dun sa issue with a certain senator and this senator. But anyway, we'll talk about that in this situation or later. Flash floods in many places, that is true. Typhoons are much stronger, that yes. And very frequent, established na natin na very frequent ang typhoons here in the Philippines. Pero it's getting very stronger. More, parang we're getting more super typhoon, super emphasis on super typhoon. Mainit kahit gabi na, yes. It's hotter, yes. Very hot talaga na ngayon. Sige. People are getting more annoying. True. May epekto din at ang weather or climate change sa mga tao ngayon. Mas annoying ba talaga pag naiinit ang tao? Let's see. Makalat, less space. Right. Sige. Fresh air po dito sa Bulacan, sir. Shout out sa mga taga-Bula. Fresh air pa daw dyan. Yan. Sana all fresh pa. Ang air. Yan. Sige, less water ang rivers. That's true. Sige. Mukhang from your answers, very participative naman ang ating mga audience. And of course, it's nice to see that our participants being observant of their surroundings and aware of existing issues towards the environment. So once again, I would like to formally introduce myself. I am Jack Ivan D. Audal, your MC, and marhay na aga sa kabos, and I will be your host for today. And welcome to Untangling the Gordian Knot, a climate crisis situationer, and actions you could take. According to Ian Fry of the United Nations, human-induced climate change is the largest, most pervasive threat to the natural environment and societies the world has ever experienced. And of course, the poorest countries are paying the heaviest price. Given the gravity of the climate crisis, we have to raise awareness of the situation and, of course, take action. After all, the Earth is our common home and our only home for all of us, whom all of us are concerned. No other replaceable planet exists. So whatever we do to the environment comes back to us, and whatever change happens in the environment affects all of us, especially the most vulnerable in our communities. That is why events and conversations on climate change and action like this ACP webinar is urgent. So thank you for choosing to be in this morning's ACP event. Sige nga, participation ulit guys. Thumbs up naman kung ready na kayo makinig. Send us your virtual thumbs. Kahit hindi yung mismong thumb yun. Virtual thumbs lang. Thumbs up lang. Yes, thank you, thank you. Miss Grace, thank you. Yan, send lang. Sige. Yan. Alright. Dami naman. Okay, wag na natin patagalin ito. Allow me now to introduce our resource speaker. We are honored to have our resource speaker today, who currently works for Oscar M. Lopez Center for Climate Change Adaptation and Disaster Risk Management Foundation, Incorporated, as a technical coordinator of Project Upturn. Project Upturn provides a menu of climate adaptation practices that addresses localized climate impacts. He volunteers for Greenpeace Philippines and Climate Reality Project and advocates for ecological agriculture and plant-based diets through #Hampas Lupa movement. He is also a consultant of the UN's International Organization for Migration. He completed his MSc Climate Change and International Development at the University of East Anglia as a Chevening scholar. For 5 years, he worked as the Solar Administration and Community Relations Officer of Solar Pacific, a renewable energy company. He was also a teacher fellow of Teach for the Philippines and taught full-time in a public elementary school at the High Need community, where he initiated school community empowerment projects. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of virtual applause for our speaker, Ryan Anthony Bestre. Good morning, sir.
Hello. Hi everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And medyo yung internet natin, no, hindi siya stable, pero may naka-standby naman na recorded video just in case hindi kumapit ang internet. But once again, thank you for choosing to be here. Usually yung issue ng climate change or yung topic na environment, hindi siya priority or people are not so interested in it. But I'm glad that you actually chose to join this particular session. So yung talk ko is parang dubbed siya na Untangling the Gordian knot. Kasi yung sa Greek mythology, yung Gordian knot is parang tali na hindi siya ma-untangle. In other words, it's when you're talking about Gordian knot, it's something that is very complicated, difficult, or mahirap siyang intindihin or isolve, which is very relevant to the climate crisis kasi it's a very complicated issue and solving it is also very difficult. There's no silver bullet of solution. Ayan. So ito yung magiging main topic natin for today's session. Let me just briefly mention that I'm an Ibaloy. I'm an Igorot, and it's an indigenous group in the northern part of the Philippines. And I think it's worth mentioning yung fact na to kasi most indigenous people are more connected to the earth. And that's also the reason why I believe I chose this path, to work towards the environment and trying to contribute to the climate action. Yeah. So review natin, ano ba talaga tong climate change na to? Marami na kayong na-mention kanina dun sa first activity natin, no, na parang sabi nyo, pabago-bago yung weather, mas lumalakas yung mga typhoon, at ito yung mga words na ina-associate natin sa climate change. But what exactly happens? Review natin, no? So ito yung araw, so the sun hits the surface of the earth. As you can see, nagba-bounce back siya. Pero pansin nyo na may natatrap dito kasi merong thin layer of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gas. Ayan. Kaya umiinit, no? So itong process na to is actually natural. It's called the greenhouse effect. And we need this for the earth to heat up. Otherwise, we would freeze to death. Ang problema, itong thin layer of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gas, mas kumakapal siya. So imagine, it's like a blanket, no? So imagine if the blanket becomes thicker, obviously, magiging mainit. That's why we are experiencing global warming. And ang pinanggalingan niya ay yung 162 million tons of man-made global warming pollution. Take note, man-made. Ang sinasabi nila, natural naman ang climate change. At that's true. Merong aspect na natural, yung pagbabago ng klima. Pero what we are experiencing is actually anthropogenic. Kaya sinasabing anthropogenic, it's because of yung man-made contribution. Ano yung man-made contribution na yun? A lot of the greenhouse gases, they come from all these activities. So lahat ng mga ginagawa natin, basically, from energy, ayan, coal mining, coal plants, from industries, from agriculture, sa mga basura natin, transportation, pagkasira ng ating mga natural ecosystems, and so on. And the largest source of global warming pollution is the burning of fossil fuels. Yung mga fossil fuels na to, ito yung mga coal, gas, na usually ginagamit sa energy. Kaya nga, in terms of emission, yung energy sector talaga yung malaki. And as you can see throughout the years, pataas siya ng pataas. Another greenhouse gas of concern is yung methane. At nakikita dito sa graph na to na pataas din yung methane concentration natin. Yung methane naman, nanggagaling siya sa decomposition of organic matter. And nanggagaling din siya sa burp ng mga cows. Kaya yung meat industry, they heavily contribute to the increase of methane concentration. At makikita na kasabay ng pagtaas ng emissions natin ay yung pagtaas ng temperature. So merong correlation, no? Nung nag-increase yung ating emission, nag-increase din yung temperature. And in fact, 19 of the 20 hottest years on record have occurred since the year 2002. Na-mention nyo kanina dun sa exercise na mainit na, and truly, talagang painit ng painit, and the hottest of all have been the last 7 years. Mapapansin mo talaga parang hindi na siya hindi mo na siya talagang mai-ignore na talagang painit siya ng painit. So, ano ngayon yung epekto nito? So what if we experience global warming? Yung global warming na yan, nag-lead na siya sa climate change. And climate change would lead to many different impacts. One of which is the melting of the ice cap. So ito 1935, pero noong 2013, as you can see, natunaw na lahat ng yelo, wala nang ice dyan. So there's declining ice mass in Greenland. Ano ngayon kung nag-melt na yung mga ice caps? Wala namang ice dito, hindi naman ako apektado. But yung mga low-lying coastal areas, they may experience rising sea levels. And isa sa reason ng rising sea level ay yung declining ice mass. A lot of places in the world, hindi lang sa Pilipinas, nakaka-experience ng heat waves. Dito sa picture na to, this happened in Spain. So can you imagine? They reach 47.2 degrees Celsius na temperature. So sobrang init niyan. It also happened in China, where in June to August 2021, it was the Asia's hottest summer on record. Sa Japan, madalas din ang heat wave. And medyo alarming to, lalo na sa population ng Japan kasi a lot of them are matatanda na, and yung mga matatanda, mas vulnerable sila or mas maapektuhan sila ng pag-init ng temperatura. And sa Philippines, I don't know if you remember, but back in 2021, the Philippines actually recorded 51 degrees Celsius heat index in Pangasinan, di ba? So, yeah, sobrang init na talaga. Ngayon, yung temperature na yon, a lot of it pumupunta or na-absorb ng ating karagatan. And that is problematic. Why? You're familiar with Typhoon Haiyan, Typhoon Yolanda, no? So tignan nyo to, ito yung path of Typhoon Haiyan. Ito yung mainit na karagatan. So pag mas red siya, ibig sabihin mas mainit. Ang nangyayari kasi, yung bagyo, pag dumaan siya sa mainit na karagatan, mas nai-intensify siya, which is what happened to Typhoon Haiyan. And if you remember, nung Typhoon Harding, that also happened, na it's a typhoon, pero hindi pa siya considered na super typhoon. Pero nung dumaan siya sa mainit na karagatan, na-intensify siya and naging super typhoon. So because of warmer oceans, typhoons are intensified. And of course, this happened back in 2013 in Tacloban. Last year lang, si Typhoon Odette naman, inapektuhan niya ng malaki yung Surigao City. Yung hometown ko, Baguio, would you imagine na we live in the mountains, no? But still, we experience flooding. And of course, nakakadagdag din yung issue ng pagkasira ng ating mga kabundukan, ating mga forests, yung hindi maayos na drainage, kaya lalong na-intensify yung impacts ng climate change like flooding. And then related to that, pag yung mga mountains natin wala ng land cover, wala ng trees, mas susceptible siya sa landslides. So this happened in Itogon. And of course, a lot of flooding. This was in Cainta. NCR experiences a lot of flooding, especially nung Ondoy, yun. Okay, more landslides. And then sa Mindanao naman, dati ang Mindanao, naalala ko nung first time ko sa Mindanao back in 2004, long time ago. Sabi nga, kami dito sa Mindanao, hindi kami naapektuhan ng bagyo. But now, hindi na rin sila nasispare sa impacts ng climate change, katulad ng bagyo. Ngayon, yung mainit na karagatan, nagkakos siya ng more intense typhoons, no? And doon naman sa land, nagkakos siya ng drought or dry spells. Kaya, ayan, may mga kalupaan tayo na sobrang dry na. This happened back in 2015 sa Cavite province. And then in 2016 naman sa Maguindanao province. So nagkakaroon ng drought. And na-notice nyo, no, with strong typhoons and then with droughts, ang malaking naapektuhan dito yung farmers natin, no? And sila talaga yung isa sa mga vulnerable sa climate impacts. And it also affects food security. Tignan natin yung mga climate impacts sa context ng Pilipinas. Na-mention ko na yung frequency and intensity of typhoons. Sa tingin nyo, ilan yung average na typhoons na tumatama sa Pilipinas? I'm pretty sure, medyo familiar kayo, siguro narinig nyo na, no? It's actually 20 typhoons each year. Ayan, can you imagine? Ayan, tama, ayan, may nagsabi 20. So parang almost twice a month. Di ba parang, it's unbelievable, but it's true, it's happening. Ang problema, may dumating na bagyo, tapos nagre-recover ka pa lang, meron na namang parating. So talagang nagsasuffer lalo na yung mga farmers natin. And related to that, kung sa ibang lugar, sobrang wet, other places naman, sobrang dry. At kung meron tayong droughts and dry spells, nagkakaroon ng issue sa water, so may kakulangan sa tubig. And then na-mention ko na to kanina, yung sea level rise. So one reason for that is because of the melting of ice caps. And another reason is because warmer oceans expand. So yun yung two reasons bakit tumataas yung sea level natin. Yung melting of ice caps, saka yung pag-expand ng mainit na karagatan. And because of this, yung mga coastal areas natin pwedeng malubog na. In fact, meron na tayong town sa Bulacan na underwater na talaga siya. Ayan. And I think a lot of places in Metro Manila, maaaring malubog sila because of rising sea level. Sa ating karagatan naman, nagkakaroon din ng coral bleaching. And this is very crucial, no? Itong mga corals kasi para silang rainforest of the ocean. Kailangan siya sa healthy ecosystem sa karagatan. Ngayon, na-absorb kasi ng karagatan yung carbon dioxide, making it more acidic. At kung mas acidic siya, nagkakaroon ng coral bleaching. Ibig sabihin, manghihina yung mga corals and they could eventually die. And this would affect the health of the marine ecosystem natin. And it would affect din yung fish stock natin na experience ng mga fishermen natin. There's species extinction, so climate change can also contribute to this. Although mostly this is because of habitat destruction and pollution. And then finally, another climate impact is the surge of dengue and other vector-borne diseases kasi mas dumadami sila sa warmer weather, warmer temperature. Ayan. So, kayo, ano yung mga so far na experience nyo na based on this climate impacts? Ano yung mga na-experience nyo sa community nyo? So, you may share it sa chat box natin, yung mga climate impacts na na-experience nyo. Ang Pilipinas, paulit-ulit ko nang binanggit na we're very vulnerable to climate change. Noong 2013, we're the most affected by climate change. Yung pinaka-updated, number 4 na lang tayo. Ibig bang sabihin, bumuti yung sitwasyon? Unfortunately not, kasi dito naman sa World Risk Report, from 3rd place, up 1 na tayo. Di ba? Parang it's more fun in the Philippines. Bakit? Kasi dito sa World Risk Report, it looks at the disaster risk index or the high exposure to extreme natural events. So we don't only have to contend with climate impacts. Meron pa tayong earthquake, meron pa tayong volcanoes. No? Marami tayong exposure sa extreme natural events. Kaya rank 1 na tayo based sa World Risk Report. Medyo parang, so what now? What are we gonna do? Parang very overwhelming. Parang wala nang pag-asa, kumbaga, no? Pero meron pa namang pag-asa. The good thing is, meron namang ginagawa. Meron namang nangyayari. Bagamat mabagal, bagamat hindi masyadong urgent yung approach, at least somehow may efforts. One of which na very important is yung Paris Agreement on Climate Change. Siguro palagi niyong naririnig itong Paris Agreement na to. Ano ba kasi itong Paris Agreement na to? So, isa siyang plano, kumbaga. Gusto natin na yung temperature ay mapanatili natin na mababa, na sana hindi siya mag-increase beyond 2 degrees, ideally 1.5. Jump lang ako dito sa slide na to. So, nasa na tayo? At as of 2021, nasa 1.2 degrees warming na tayo. Alright? And di ba yung sa Paris Agreement, yung target is 1.5. Or well below 2, ideally 1.5, but we're already at 1.2. What does that mean? What does that imply? At 1.2, eto na yung situation, di ba? At 1.2, we are already experiencing extreme typhoons, may flooding, may drought, may forest fire, may lahat-lahat na yan, we are experiencing. Can you imagine na pag pataas pa yan ng pataas, syempre mag-i-intensify yung mga impacts na nararamdaman natin. So it's a big problem. So makikita nyo dito na based on yung realistic na real world action, ito aabot tayo ng 2.7. So parang, oh no, what are we gonna do? Wala na talaga. But sa optimistic scenario naman, aabot tayo dito. Well, hindi siya, actually yung upper limit umabot na ng 2.4 eh. Pero at least yung average parang 1.8. I guess the point is, medyo, if I'm being honest, parang mahirap nang maabot yung target, no? But it doesn't mean na we stop yung efforts. Kaya nga, a lot of advocates, a lot of environmentalists, researchers, scientists, talagang pinupush nila yung climate action, urgent climate action. And recently, katatapos lang yung Conference of Parties sa Egypt. And somehow, meron naman tayong na-achieve because during the COP27 sa Egypt, nag-agree yung mga leaders natin na magkaroon ng fund loss and damage fund para sa mga bansa na naapektuhan ng climate impacts. Ayan. So at least medyo meron tayong na-achieve dun sa Conference of Parties sa Egypt. Ang problema, ayaw pa rin nilang i-phase out ang fossil fuels. Bakit kaya ayaw nilang i-phase out yung fossil fuels? Siyempre, may mga mga personal interest, no? Yung mga leaders natin, a lot of government leaders, world leaders, sila yung mga stockholders ng fossil fuel companies, di ba? So it would affect their business. So alam niyo na, I mean, if it would affect your business, would you allow it to be phased out? Of course not, di ba? Kaya nga pinaglalaban din natin yung climate justice, and pag-usapan natin yan maya-maya. Anyway, back to the Paris Agreement. Kung ang cause ng climate change ay ang pag-increase ng emission, anong solution? Diba? Tumataas yung greenhouse gas emission natin. Because of that, umiinit. Nagkakaroon ng global warming, nagkakaroon ng climate change. So ano yung solution? Ang solution ay pababain mo yung emission mo. And that is called mitigation. So ibig sabihin, as much as possible, i-reduce natin yung ating anthropogenic emissions. How can we do that? May mga examples dito. Una, yung reducing fossil fuel consumption by shifting to renewable energy. When you say renewable energy, ito yung mga enerhiya na mula sa araw, solar, sa tubig, or hydro, or sa wind. Meron ding energy efficiency kasi at the moment, we are still relying heavily on fossil fuels. Sa Pilipinas, yung energy matrix natin, 50% comes from coal, around 25% from gas, and then only a quarter comes from renewable sources. So as much as possible, i-reduce pa natin yung ating emissions. And then of course, promoting sustainable transport. So yung mass transport sana yung mas gamitin natin kasi kung mas maraming sasakyan, mas malaki ulit yung emission. So ang better alternative is mass transit or public transport. And then finally, waste management kasi may mga emissions din tayo sa basura. So we try to reduce our waste emissions. Another part of the solution of climate action is adaptation. Kasi sa ngayon, na-experience na natin lahat to, itong mga typhoons, itong mga droughts. So anong gagawin natin? Sinong mag-a-adjust? Tayo din, di ba? So tayo rin yung kailangang mag-adjust, tayo rin yung kailangang mag-adapt. So what are adaptation measures that we can do? Of course, sa mga flood-prone areas, dapat may mga flood defenses ka na dyan. May early warning systems, lalo na sa mga madalas mabaha. So dapat alam nyo na, oy, mataas na yung tubig, mag-evacuate ka na. Para sa ating mga farmers, dapat gumamit na sila ng climate change resistant crops. And of course, we should redesign systems and policies. Sa national framework naman, okay, ayan. So if you have questions by the way, just feel free to put them sa chat box. Kung may mga comments din kayo, just feel free to write them down sa ating chat box. Nationally, may mga frameworks din tayo. So we have the National Climate Change Action Plan, kung saan ito yung parang blueprint natin of how to address the climate crisis. And it translates sa local climate change action plan sa ating mga local government units. So actually, yun yung aking consultancy work with IOM, no? That's why at the moment, nasa Cotabato ako, I'm trying to help some LGUs sa BARM region na i-prepare yung LCCAP nila. Ayan. Okay. Unfortunately, sa NDC, ito yung National Determined Contribution. No? So gusto natin mag-reduce ng emissions ang Pilipinas by 75%. Malaki, no? Wow, ang laki-laki. Kaso, 72.3% ay conditional. Parang dependent siya sa foreign aid projects. And only 2.7% ay unconditional. Siyempre, yung mga civil society groups, sabi nila, dapat maging mas ambitious tayo. Yes, low emissions, mababa lang naman yung emissions natin. Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin na porke mababa, wag na tayong mag-effort. So we still do our best to reduce our emission para rin we show other countries no na we are doing our part. Okay, so yung final half ng aking presentation would focus on solutions. Okay, so what exactly can we do? No? So yung tatalakayin natin is mostly at a personal level. And tignan din natin kung paano natin siya i-scale up or i-level up. Pero as you can see here, how to fight climate change at home. Number 1, eat more fruits and vegetables and less meat. Pinakamadali, pero I think sa mga Pinoy mahirap kasi mahilig sa mga samgyup. Ayan. Anong connection? Bakit ko kailangang magbawas ng karne? Tingnan kasi natin yung environmental impacts ng meat industry. Well, food muna. Food and agriculture. Ito yung global emissions. So agriculture contributes 50% of global habitable land. So we affect or we use up land use, 70% of freshwater use, eutrophication, ibig sabihin freshwater pollution. So agriculture, malaki rin yung contribution niya. And then kung nakikita nyo yung livestock, it negatively impacts biodiversity. Ang problema rin kasi dun sa meat industry, ang nangyayari is they clear out lands, yung mga forest normally, no? They clear it out, tapos magtatanim sila ng corn. Tapos yung corn na yun, it's not for human consumption, but it's for the consumption of animals, yung mga cows. And then yung meat industry, it pollutes the air, it pollutes water, it pollutes the soil. So marami siyang negative impacts. At kung titingnan mo rin yung emissions ng mga pagkain natin, yung nasa taas, it's mostly meat, no? And then yung sa baba, yung mga na relatively low yung emission or carbon footprint ay yung mga plant-based food. So hindi ko naman sinasabi na ayan, wag na kayong kumain ng karne, no? You don't have to go vegan. If you're a vegan, no animal byproducts. So no meat, no milk, no eggs. Or you don't have to go vegetarian. Kung vegetarian ka naman, you don't eat meat, but you can eat or you can consume milk or eggs. But you can be flexitarian like me. So ibig sabihin, I can still eat meat, but I mostly eat fruits and vegetables. Dagdag ko rin pala na hindi ko alam kung nabalitaan nyo, lalo na yung mga, kung meron tayong kasama dito na nasa medical field, meron nang lumalabas na issue ng antimicrobial resistance. Ano ba ito? Ibig sabihin, yung antibiotics natin, hindi na siya gumagana kasi sa pag-overuse natin ng antibiotics. Anong relationship niya sa meat industry? Yung meat industry kasi, di ba, normally yung mga animals na nilalagay sila sa kulungan, di ba? Tikit-tikit sila dyan, so madali sila magkasakit. Para hindi sila magkasakit, tinuturukan sila ng pagkadami-daming antibiotics. And now, nagde-develop sila ng resistance, antimicrobial resistance. And this antimicrobial resistance napapasa sa mga tao. Ayan. So again, hindi ko kayo tinatakot na sinasabing no meat na forever, but simply reduce your meat intake and eat more fruits and vegetables. Related sa ating food consumption ay yung sana hindi tayo nagsasayang ng pagkain. Kasi 30% of food in the world is being wasted. And sana wag na tayong dumagdag dyan. Although this problem is mostly, this mostly applies to rich countries, no? Sa atin naman, merong ang kakulangan eh. May mga kumakain pa ng pagpag, if you heard, di ba? But basically, siguro, yung idea is we don't waste yung resources kasi a lot of resources were spent in producing and transporting our food. So dapat hindi natin siya sinasayang. Number 3, try composting. Ayan. Yung very basic na palaging nung bata pa kayo or elementary school, segregate your waste paulit-ulit. Segregate your waste kasi yung biodegradable waste, pwede mo siyang i-compost or pwedeng ibaon mo na lang sa lupa. Kasi yung mga biodegradable waste, pag dinala mo sa landfills or sa sanitary landfill, nagre-create siya ng methane kasi yung mga anaerobic, ibig sabihin anaerobic, walang air circulation, mas nag-generate siya ng methane. Whereas pag nag-compost ka, aerobic decomposition, mas may air circulation. Actually, pag ganito nga, hindi siya masyadong maamoy. And you can also use it as fertilizer. Which leads me to number 4, fertilizer for your plants. Grow your own food. Ayan, yung mga plantita natin dyan. Put your hands up. Ayan, so nung nagkaroon ng lockdowns because of the pandemic, nagkaroon ng malaking interest sa pagtatanim, which is a good thing, no? I think it's very important that we learn how to grow our own food so that we reconnect to the earth, we reconnect to our food, and we see the importance of our food. We see how difficult it is to grow our own food. Relate ko na rin siguro dito yung in terms of planting is kung pwede, syempre magtanim ka na rin ng mga puno and let's try to protect the remaining trees that we have kasi nauubos na no yung mga puno natin at mga green spaces natin. So let's try to create more green spaces. Number 5, adopt a zero waste lifestyle. Hindi ibig sabihin totally zero ang basura, walang basura. It only means that you try as much as possible to reduce your consumption, reduce the waste that you produce. Kung hindi nyo pa napapanood yung The Story of Stuff, I think available siya sa YouTube. Try nyo panoorin kasi it discusses yung whole issue ng overconsumption, no? So it starts from the extraction of resources from our environment. So basically, it's trashing the planet. And then pupunta yan sa mga factories. Dito sa manufacturing process, merong water pollution, merong air pollution. And then madadala na yan sa ating mga supermarkets, sa ating mga shops, where you are convinced to buy, to consume stuff. Parang your value is measured by the stuff that you buy. Pero these things that we buy, maybe some of them are not even used, no? Or hindi naman talaga natin sila kailangan. Or we use them once and then eventually we throw them away. So a lot of that, they end up in the landfills or worse, they get incinerated. Interestingly, itong part na to, makikita nyo na yung government, dapat siya yung nag-regulate dyan. Pero ang nangyayari, yung corporations, they are controlling the government. Yeah. So yan yung problema natin sa issue nito. Great. Number 6, reduce your energy use. Na-mention ko na kanina na one solution is renewable energy, no? So kung meron kayong budget, mag-install na kayo ng solar panels sa mga bubong nyo. But for the meantime, i-try nating i-reduce yung energy use natin kasi sabi ko nga, we still depend sa fossil fuels in terms of our energy. And I'm pretty sure very familiar na rin kayo sa mga ways of using energy more efficiently. But basically, ulitin ko lang na yung energy sector, isa siya sa pinakamalaking emissions. So these are ways to reduce your energy use. Alam niyo na yan, turn off the lights when not in use, turn off and unplug appliances, use energy efficient equipment, etc. All right. Number 8, conserve water. Okay. So kanina na-mention natin na one impact of climate change would be scarcity of water, no? So isang solution ay we try to conserve water as adaptation. I think it's about rethinking din, no, our consumption patterns, no. So rethinking the impact of our consumption. So we try to use our resources wisely. And here are examples of how you can conserve water. Again, familiar na rin kayo dyan. Watering plants sa umaga. energy efficient na mga washing machine, ano pa, take shorter showers, etc. Okay, number 8, make your voice heard. Ayan, so siguro I believe very doable naman tong number 8, no? Parang you can make your voice heard in many different ways. Kung writer ka, you can write about it. Kung student leader ka, you can discuss this issue sa constituents mo. Kung meron kang social media, you can use that. You know, normally in social media, inisip natin, oh, it's very negative, but it's actually a powerful tool to reach the people within your circle of influence, no? So you try to make use of your voice to raise more awareness. Yung sabi natin, puro na lang tayo awareness. But unfortunately, kailangan talaga na, yun kasi yung first step eh, you have to be aware. And I feel like people are aware, pero a lot of people, hindi pa nila masyadong na-untangle yung Gordian knot, so to speak, no? Parang some people, they cannot connect the relationship, ganyan. So I believe it's very important for us to continue the conversation, to continue talking about it, to raise more awareness, and then that awareness would hopefully translate to action. I'm gonna stop my screen share for the moment para lang i-share ko sa inyo yung isa sa initiative namin na sa Greenpeace. I also work for Greenpeace. Yung isang initiative namin is Party for the Planet. So siguro I'm gonna show you the video first. Okay, let me share. Bear with me. And let's try to watch this.
Just dream about that moment when you look yourself right in the eye, then you say, I wanna dance. The music's got me going, and nothing that can stop how we move. Yeah, let's take a class and live just like we're golden and rolling like we're dancing fools. We don't need to worry, 'cause when we go, we know how to dance. Don't need to talk the talk, just walk the walk. 'Cause we don't need permission to dance. Da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. We don't need permission to dance. Da-na-na-na-na, hey, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. 'Cause we don't need permission to dance.
Alright, so yan yung Party for the Planet na initiative ng Greenpeace. What is Party for the Planet all about? And I hope you can see my screen. So ito siya. So parang Step Up for Climate Justice. Ito yung isa sa solidarity action na ginawa namin primarily for COP27, no? It's a way for us to join the call and demand urgent climate action from the world leaders this COP27. And so if you try to, I'm gonna share this link later so that you can try to visit. Sige, share ko sa chat. That's the form of action, no? Parang, kasi it's fun, it's creative, and it's a way of reaching especially the younger generation. So kung makikita nyo dito sa screen, meron kaming dance tutorial. So, and yung dance steps may mga equivalent meaning siya. Halimbawa, ito, step 1, look, there's another typhoon. Step 2, oh, it's climate change. And step 3, say X or say no to fossil fuels. Step 4, we don't need words, we need climate action. And then step 5, spread the word about climate change. And you can check out the full dance routine dito. And you can actually join the Party for the Planet kung may TikTok kayo. So use your dancing skills for the good, no? You can organize a dance party in your community, and you can even create a visual representation or artwork. Yan. Share ko rin na sa Greenpeace, meron kami mga videos na create, no? Climate justice stories or short videos. So let me share that sa chat box, so you can try to watch it later. So basically, itong mga kwentong klima, mga short stories na ginawa ng mga kabataan natin from all over the Philippines, sharing their stories about the climate sa kanilang context. So may episode tayo na tungkol sa renewable energy, may episode tayo about the relationship between plastic, climate justice, meron tayong kwento ng mga first-hand experiences ng mga kabataan na naka-experience ng mga bagyo. Ayan. So, yung point yung sinasabi ko is, I guess what I'm trying to say is we can be creative with how we raise awareness, no? So we can use dance, we can use videos of storytelling. Sinasabi nyo, anong point ng pagsasayaw? But, we dance kasi gusto nating magpapansin. Kasi basically, gusto nating pansinin nila yung issue. Kasi at the moment, considering na, halimbawa sa Pilipinas, we're very vulnerable to climate impacts, pero hindi pa rin siya pinaprioritize. So basically, yun yung purpose natin. Gusto natin na mas mapansin yung issue para mas ma-actionan siya ng mabilis. Ayan. And then yung number 9, demand for climate justice. Yung na-mention ko na kanina, no? Yung climate justice na sino ba dapat yung malaki ang pwedeng magawa sa solusyon. And ang pinakamalaki yung accountability at pinakamalaki yung responsibilidad ay yung mga government natin and yung mga corporations. So climate justice is about taking governments and corporations on board to protect our right to a healthy climate and ensure those with the biggest contributions to climate change are held accountable. Siguro mas klaro kung makikita natin dito sa illustration na ito. Sa recent na bagyo sa Gordian at Paet, 3.12 billion ang wala sa atin because of Gordian, 54.9 billion from Paet. Aside from that, lost livelihood, lost lives, may mga namatay. Samantalang yung mga fossil fuel companies, they are actually, they are earning, kumikita sila, they're profiting from the climate crisis. So basically, climate justice is about holding them accountable because they are the most responsible to the climate crisis. Kaya nga, we are demanding for loss and damage. And siguro para mas maintindihan nyo ba, I'm gonna share another video. Okay, so okay, bear with me. Okay, so ayan. So para mas mag-gets natin yung ano ba talaga itong climate justice na to, let's try to watch this short video.
sa pakiramdam ko, mas malakas si Carding na duman sa amin kasi dinig mo, sumisipol talaga yung hangin at saka yung mga bubong ng mga alaga akong hayop nagsiliparan na. Tingnan ko yung mga pananim ko, yung palayan ko, dumapa na po, lumalalim po yung tubig. Kaya nangamba ako na baka wala nang matira na para sa pagkain po ng aming pamilya.
Napakalaki po yung epekto ng bagyo sa ating pananim dahil lahat po ay dumapa. Ni halos walang maani. Kaya lugi po talaga. Sa mga gulay, ganun din po. Hindi po mapaginabangan. Dumating si Bagyong Carding, ni wala kaming magawa. Nung nabagyo ay nasa milking stage. Yung mga iba ay wala ng laman. Kaya hindi na po siya mabinta ng maganda.
We train them to become more resilient dahil sa mga hazards na ito. Pero itong mga farmers na to ay kayang mag-adjust lang base sa kanilang kapasidad. No? Base sa Department of Agriculture ng 3.1 billion na loss and damages sa ating agrikultura at ibang sektor. Kaya kailangan din natin na manawagan. Sana ang mga leaders ng ating mga bansa, ang may mga kapangyarihan, ang may mga impluensya, magkaroon ng pananagutan sa ating mga farmers since sila ang ating mga producers. Sila ang ating mga food heroes. Hindi agad kayo ang naapektuhan. Ang naapektuhan ang ating mga vulnerable na sektor tulad ng ating mga magsasaka.
Nakita natin ito sa Super Typhoon Carding kung saan lumakas siya sa loob ng 6 na oras. Hindi ito normal. Isa to sa mga epekto ng climate change. Isa to sa mga nakikita nating patterns na palakas ng palakas at nagiging unpredictable ang mga bagyo. Isa ang Pilipinas sa mga pinaka-vulnerable na mga bansa sa mga effects ng climate change. In the past year, dito sa Pilipinas ay ang paglabas ng National Inquiry for Climate Change ng Commission on Human Rights. And sa report na ito, sinasabi nila na kailangang managot ng mga carbon majors na may dulot ng climate change. Kung kaya't kailangan pong gumalaw ng gobyerno upang ma-mitigate yung effects ng climate change, especially sa mga pinaka-vulnerable communities natin. So, kung kaya't ang panawagan namin sa gobyerno, seryosohin ang climate change. Magkaroon ng action plan na comprehensive.
Hustisyang pangklima ay kailangang maibigay na ito sa atin. Ngayon na ang panahon para tayo ay maningil. Ang usapin ng loss and damage ay kailangang i-table na. Hindi na ito kailangang isantabi. Panahon na ngayon para talagang yun na ang pagtuunan ng pansin. Bigyan na nila ng espasyo sa negosasyon. Huwag na nilang i-deny ang kanilang obligasyon dahil ang mga carbon majors, ang mga mayayaman na bansa ay may obligasyon at pananagutan sa ating mga Pilipino na konti lang naman ang ating kontribusyon sa climate change, pero tayo ang mas sa-suffer, tayo ang mas napipinsala. Marami pang mga bagyo, drought ang dadanasin ng ating mga kababayan at kailangan na nating pagtuunan yon ng pansin.
Ayan, so I hope through the video mas gets nyo no, yung idea ng climate justice. Oh, by the way, apologies kung may background noise. I'm in a coffee shop and ito lang kasi yung medyo okay ang connection. But I hope hindi kayo masyadong na-distract sa background noise. Let me just continue sa ating presentation. Malapit the last bit of the presentation. Basically, ayun nga, na-explain na sa atin yung climate justice and dun sa video na mention, no, itong NICC report, the Philippine Commission on Human Rights finds legal grounds to hold fossil fuel companies liable and urges them to cease further coal, oil, and gas exploration and cease from all activities undermining climate science and action. So this victory helps us with our call for climate justice. And then finally, lastly, number 10, be politically engaged. Ayan. So ano ibig sabihin yan? It's about choosing the right leaders. It's about demanding action from your leaders. It's about writing to your leaders. And to give you a very specific example, sa Baguio, sa aking hometown, merong isang area na may mga puno pa, no? But balak nilang i-clear yung mga puno para magpatayo ng building for a business. So nung nalaman ito ng mga kabataan sa isang school, they wrote to our mayor, and then because of that letter, napatigil yung pag-clear dun sa area. So hanggang ngayon, nandun pa yung mga puno. So you can see na how effective yung mobilization, no? So at yung mobilization na yun nagmula pa sa mga kabataan. So if we try to, yes, of course we do our part at an individual level, but para mas magkaroon ng malaking impact, we have to work collectively, no? We have to work together. It's about all the different sectors working together. It's about us doing what we can. Ayan. So again, parang yung issue ng climate crisis, parang it's very complicated, very frustrating, but let's just try to do what we can in whatever capacity we have, wherever we are. Ayan. So that's the end of my presentation, and I'm glad that we have enough time for discussion. I hope you try to ask me as many questions as you can, and let's try to interact with each other. What did you think of the presentation? May mga questions pa kayo, comments, etc. So I'm gonna pass it on to our MC.
Right, thank you. Right, thank you so much, Sir Ryan, for the a very superb discussion, sir. I like how it was digestible. It take on the concept of climate change, and it was digestible for me. It was very easy for me to catch on or to understand the details. So thank you po for your presentation. And of course, a resounding round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our speaker, a virtual round of applause. So yeah, of course, I hope that all of us learned a great deal of learnings and made aware of issues relating to the climate change. And of course, the present data, and of course, yung how severe it affects in our country. Na-surprise ako dun, sir, sa Baguio, na na-flood din pala kasi sabi niyo mountainous area. In my mind, lahat naman po na-flood, but it's surprising na may chances of flood, pero it's very surprising that Baguio had severe flood. So it was very surprising. So thank you for this situation. This is why a situationer is very good, kasi a lot of information, pero at least it makes you aware of things. And so again, that's for our talk. At this point, let us know how keen our participants were in listening to our speaker's discussion, as we are going to play a quick game. Siguro kung nag-attend na kayo ng mga ibang ECP, hindi na to bago sa inyo ang game after the talk, diba? So it's just a fun way to be rewarded for you listening to our speaker. You know? Okay, so our game for this ECP topic is 4 picks, 1 word. It is a popular game back then, which I think all of us at some point na-download in our smartphone. Hindi na siya nawawala, parang lahat. Kung hindi man kayo yung nag-download, pina-answeran kayo ng nakasama nyo merong smartphone na at that time. Right? So wait muna natin ang presentation. So be ready, guys, ha? So 4 picks, 1 word. Ang mechanics, we all know that. Siguro yan na natin yung how we play, di ba? Siguro rundown lang. For photos, all have relation to one particular word. It could, it's simple as may hint lang about sa context niya or related siya dito. So I hope, si participants. I-wait lang natin ang technical operator natin to share her screen. But I hope na excited naman ang mga participants natin kasi of course may game, may prize kasi yan nga sinabi nga natin award from for listening, diba? Sige. So I'll just give the instructions then we have at most 2 winners of a GCash prize. So, and how do you get the chance to win? First is of course, I will give a code for you to be eligible to answer, because you need to open your mic and say your answer. So, example, pag na-share na si slide, the 4 picks, yan. Sige. Yeah, 4 picks, 1 word, guys. Then, 4 picks, 1 word. Very iconic app logo. Kumbaga. Sige, next slide. Yeah. So here are the mechanics. We are shown the photos, and of course, it depicts a word or phrase. The first participant to comment sa Zoom chat ng given code by me, after the 1, 2, 3, go, and after na-acknowledge namin kayo, you must turn on your mic to say the answer. And of course, wait for the go signal of the staff in the comment presentation. So, ano lang sa presentation, 2 winners lang, guys, na lang sa budget requirements. Sige. Kasi madami kayo 300 plus, 300 strong in the Zoom chat, Zoom meeting. Okay, so enough from me. If you have any questions or just kindly raise them. Kung hindi, send an thumbs up na lang sa ating mga participants if ready na ba, excited na ba at least. Thumbs up naman, thumbs up. Or dyan sa chat, kung ready na ba? Send naman ng ready dyan sa chat box. Sige, para signal na natin na Yan, thank you so much, Mark, Mika, and Helen, or Helene? I don't know. So sorry guys kung mali ang mga pronunciation ko ng words. Oh, my senior high school STEM. Yan, hello. Sunny, hello. Okay, sige. So let's first have a trial round of the game. Next slide, please. Yeah, for the trial round. Yeah, the first 4. Yeah, so what I'm seeing here is my mga different words, all related to somewhat Sige, I'll give you a few seconds to think. 3, 2, 1. The code. Sige, yan ang Sige, may nagsasenda ng guys ng sagot nila, no? So, yung mga after ng go from our staff is not counted. So, please wait for my signal and yung go na na yung sined ng aming staff para acknowledge na within the pero hindi pa sagot ang ibibigay nyo sa akin or sa chat. Yung code na ibibigay ko sa inyo. Yung code sana na ibibigay ko is ACP. So, the first one to type ACP after the go will be acknowledged to say their answer. So I hope okay naman sana ang instruction ko sa ating mga participants, no? So ayan, so sige, i-reveal na natin ang sagot. Of course, it's pollution. Pool, lotion, pollution. Diba? Nice. Congrats sa ating staff, very witty. Ang daling mag-gets ng ating mga participants. Sige. So, sige, totoo na to guys, may prize na to. Pero please please keep in mind the instructions. Code muna to comment, then I will acknowledge you to open your mic and say your answer. And of course, 1, 2, 3, go. Be mindful guys, Sige. Let's do this na. Okay. First round. Next. Okay. 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. The code is untangle. Code is untangle. Untangle. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, meron agad. Awa. Ethan, Ron. What is your answer, please? Hello, Ethan. What is your answer, please? Sige, 3.
Untangle. Sorry, I had my mic off.
Yeah.
Am I
What's
audible,
your
sir?
answer to the or fix one word?
Untangle.
Untangled. I'm sorry, that is not the correct answer. How about Lawrence po? What's your answer, please?
Signs. Sign.
Sorry, that is not the correct answer. All right, I guess. Sige, medyo mahirap ata tong first question. Sige, next na lang. Signs. Actually, the answer is, next slide please, permafrost. Perma, ice, frost. Very close to yung iba. So, sorry guys that is the question. Sige, next ano na tayo. Second round. The next code is Gordian. So 1, 2, 3, go. All right. From Miss Trisha, what is your answer?
Drought po.
Yeah. Sige. Correct. That is correct. Miss Trisha, you correct. That is the first. Congratulations, that is correct. So our staff will contact you on your details for the price later. All right. Next question, please. Next slide, please. Okay, for our third and last, hopefully final round is right. The code is not. Code is not. So 3, 2, 1, go. Sige. Mr. Wesley, okay naman. Okay lang kung maling spelling. What is your answer?
It must.
Congratulations, Wesley. You are our second winner for the top. All right. That ends our game. So of course, congratulations to our winners, and don't forget you will be contacted by our staff in order to claim your cash prizes. Now that we have our fun with the quick game, let's go to another highlight of the program, which is the open forum. Your questions and insights for our resource speaker can be posted here in the Zoom chat box or in the live comments section of the YouTube for the YouTube viewers. You may also use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. However, please wait for your name to be called before you open your microphone. Okay, while waiting, we can at least have our first reactor. Let us welcome Ms. May Ann A. Obrero, a first-year BSBA Legal Management student, and let's hear what she has to say about our ACP topic. Ms. May?
Hello po, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry po for my background. So, I must say po that today's ACP entitled Untangling the Gordian Knot about the climate crisis is that it is indeed that it is indeed that our biggest threat today is the climate change, and you know that it's very dangerous if we don't tackle about this. So thank you po, Sir Ryan, for being our guest speaker for today. And my insight po here is that it is really relevant and very ang daming journeys talaga, since we need to pay attention to some important things, to the activities that tayo din yung nagko-cause ng problem. As like what from the first presentation, like 162 million tons, like man-made global contribution na nagawa natin. Like for example, the coal mining, the crop burning, transportation, lahat yon is from kagagawa natin. So, and the effect here is also the fossil fuels din na like that the human activities din ang may kasalanan. And from this presentation that Sir Ryan has tackled, very yung pagiging aware natin is very important, especially tayong mga ngayong generation natin. And especially, hindi lang kasi tayong naapektuhan. It's true that ang naapektuhan din dito is the farmers, the vulnerable sectors. Ito talaga yung farmers that they are our food heroes talaga. And it's time to wake up that climate change is real, very dangerous, and alarming. So, that's all lang po for my insight. Thank you po for listening, and I hope meron din kayong insight na Thank you so much.
Right, thank you so much, May, for your reaction. So, thank you for your insight. To our speakers, sir, how would you react to our any insight from our?
Thank you for that. Thank you for that insight and comments. Relate ko lang dun sa may nag-comment din dito sa chat box, and I think maganda yung point niya dito, no? Sabi niya, allow me to read, although individual carbon footprint really contributes to climate change, but I think we might be missing the point when we turn to carbon footprint and individual choice alone. Yes, very important. Actually, yun yung gusto ko rin i-emphasize na dun sa presentation ko, parang a lot of the solutions, lalo na yung mga first half, individual based siya, no? Parang individual level solutions. And of course, that's the beginning. Kasi syempre, in order for you to initiate change, it has to start from you. Change of mindset, change of behavior, and then you influence other people, and then collective action siya. But at the same time, i-reiterate ko rin na yung towards the end, sabi ko na we also have to demand climate justice, demand action from governments and corporations, kasi actually sila yung mas malaki yung dapat or mas maraming dapat gawin. Similar sa issue ng plastic, no? Normally, pag sabi natin, plastic pollution, kasi kasalanan ng mga tao, gamit-gamit ng plastic, tinatapon saan-saan. Pero sino bang nag-create ng plastic? Di ba yung mga corporations? So, yung mga individuals, yes, dapat yung i-reduce nila ang consumption nila. But at the same time, the corporations should also put in place mga solutions kasi sila yung mas may capacity din to do something. And it's the same thing with the climate crisis. We can reduce our emissions at an individual level, our carbon emissions, but we should demand from these corporations to actually phase out fossil fuels. So they can phase out fossil fuels and not focus on income, focus on money. Kasi we're talking about our survival here, no? We're talking about lives. So balance sila. The point is we have to work together. We do our part individually, but we also demand action from corporations, from government, and let's stand for climate justice.
Okay, well, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the emphasis na kung sino talaga ang bigger problem or contributor sa problem. And also, thank you, John Patrick, for your comment or insight. So I guess I will proceed now to our questions from our participants. I would like first to ask I say this question. What thou, sir, is the difference between climate change and climate variability? I guess this is a good answer.
Ang difference ng climate change at climate variability, when you say kasi climate variability, from the word na variability, pabago-bago siya. And I think i-relate ko na lang siya dun sa na-mention ko rin kanina na yung debate between natural climate change, natural climate variability lang ba to, or is it actually climate change? So let me emphasize na yes, meron tayong tinatawag na natural climate variability, talagang nagbabago-bago yung climate. But the anthropogenic climate change that we're talking about is yung impact ng malaking emission or mataas na emission natin. Yeah. And i-add ko lang din na kanina dun sa quiz nyo na-mention yung permafrost. I believe hindi ko siya na-discuss sa aking presentation. Yung permafrost, ito siya yung parang ice siya or yellow na pag natunaw, maaaring mag-release ng methane and other greenhouse gas. So, kasi nga, di ba, isang impact ng global warming and climate change is melting of ice caps, and that includes permafrost, and that can be very serious kasi yung permafrost may mga gas na nakatrap doon sa yellow. So pag nag-melt siya, it will release further greenhouse gas methane, which are more potent na greenhouse gases. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. I'll proceed now to the next question. Some of our participants said, how helpful would be to adopting urban agriculture in battling the negative environmental impact of manufactured agriculture? I am not very familiar, sir, with urban agriculture and the manufactured agriculture. What is the difference?
I think yung ibig niyang sabihin yung urban agriculture versus yung large scale agriculture. Very important, especially for those living in the urban place or urban areas na mag-practice ng urban agriculture kasi una, nakakatulong siya sa food security. Siguro mas na-feel natin yun nung pandemic, no? Nung nagkaroon ng lockdowns, nagkaroon ng mahirap na access sa food. So if you're growing your own food, it contributes to food security. At the same time, pag mas na-promote pa yung urban agriculture sa urban areas natin, this is creating green spaces, which I mentioned is maganda siya na maganda siyang adaptation, and then meron din siyang co-benefit na mitigation kasi kung may green spaces, may nag-absorb ng carbon emissions. And then pag small scale kasi compared to large scale farming, yung large scale farming mas malaki yung impact, and if we go small, if we go local, mas nakakatulong yun. So isang solution din actually ang small scale farming and urban agriculture. I hope that's very clear.
Sige, sir. That is noted po. It's very manageable for individual small agricultures than just one big polluter or major contributor. Due to the time, sir, I'll just be giving the last two questions, sir. I'll just screen through what is, I guess, the most relevant for me. So, I guess, sir, the second to the last question will be, how much does it cost, though, sir, to help the environment? And relating to that, will the remedies to climate change be worse than the disease? Will it drive more people into poverty with higher costs? That is the question for one of our participants.
I think what the participant is trying to ask is ano yung economic cost ng climate change, no?
Yes.
Marami, no? So aside from yun nga, because of the impacts, nasisira yung properties, nawawalan tayo ng livelihood, may mga namamatay. So ano yung mga economic value nito? Actually, you cannot even measure all of it, especially yung loss in lives, no? Loss in livelihood and loss of culture din pala, no? Pag minsan inisip lang natin yung impacts, physical impacts, pero pag nasisira yung mga cultural heritage areas natin, it affects our culture. Yung mga tao, sabi nila funny enough, parang jokingly, sabi nila, because of climate change, palagi na kaming nag-aaway ng misis ko, sabi niya. Kasi daw is it because of the high temperature? But nag-aaway na yung mga tao kasi halimbawa yung mga farmers, nahirapan sila sa pagtatanim, walang livelihood, walang kita. And so it can destroy relationship, it can destroy families. So makita nyo, meron siyang kumbaga primary, secondary, tertiary impacts. It doesn't only primarily impact yung what it directly affects, like yung mga properties, yung livelihood, loss of lives. Pero at a certain level, it affects our culture, it affects life in general, no? It affects life in general. And hindi mo siya makaka-capture lang in a price. Pero kung gusto mo mang i-capture, sobrang laki na. Kaya nga, babalik ko rin dun sa call natin for loss and damage. Gusto natin na singilin yung mga most responsible sa climate crisis, sa loss and damage na experience natin. Kaya it's a good thing na dun sa COP27, nag-agree yung mga world leaders na magkaroon ng ganong mekanismo kung saan mabibigyan ng loss and damage fund para sa mga bansang katulad ng Pilipinas na nagsasuffer sa climate crisis.
Right, thank you, sir, for your question. And I hope na din ng ating participants what sir was trying to say. And I guess this is our last question na po. So one of our participants asked, how exactly is deleting emails relevant in reducing the effects of climate change? I guess there was this one time that there was a trend that scientists were protesting about action. It went viral and everyone did participated. There was a skywrite in using Ecosia, deleting your emails. So, but soon after that, it somehow dropped in the virality. So, what's your take on this, sir? I guess this is what our
actually naging debatable to parang among environmentalists, criticize din kasi parang it's oversimplifying the solution. Hindi naman natin sinasabi na it's not one of the solutions, pero parang sinasabi nila na delete your emails and then everything will be all right. I think lumalabas kasing ganon, which is not. Again, it goes back to that issue of individual action versus systemic change. What we're saying is, yes, we do what we can at an individual level. So delete your emails for ano. Pero siguro maganda ring intindihin yung issue sa emails kasi yung sa emails naman, yung online footprint natin, iniisip natin nasa cloud lang. Pero actually, that translates to buildings, to energy. So it also requires a lot of energy. So ibig sabihin, malaki rin yung emission niya if you think about it. Pero ang solution ba nun is yung pag-delete mo ng email? Probably that can be one of the very few solutions. Pero I think we look at the bigger picture, no? We look at solutions na mas malaki yung impact. We're not saying that one solution is better than the other. I guess what you can do is focus on your capacity. Kasi iba-iba rin naman tayo ng kapasidad. Kung leaders kayo, eventually, if you become government leaders, what can you do? Initiate policies. You have the political will to actually implement laws or implement projects. Ayan. So if you have the capacity, you can write to your leaders. Yung sinabi ko kanina, you can organize yourself and you demand for action from your leaders. So marami namang action. The point is, there's no silver bullet of solution. Hindi tayo magsasabi na mas okay yung ganitong solution, mas okay yung ganitong solution. Gawin natin lahat yung solution ng sabay-sabay, all together, collaborating with each other and working together.
Yes, thanks, sir. That's a good message to end our open forum. So I do agree, sir. Individually, yes, we do have a contribution, but group-wise, we have a major impact. And of course, and thank you so much to our participants for their enthusiasm and participation. And of course, we are grateful for our speaker for gracefully answering our questions. And of course, we are near the end of our activity today. To show further our gratitude to our resource speaker for accepting our invitation, we would like to present this certificate of appreciation. Let me read the citation. The Ateneo de Naga University, please present the certificate. Ana? Okay, Ateneo de Naga University Office of Student Affairs and its partners present this certificate of appreciation to Ryan Anthony Bestre in grateful appreciation of his expertise and service as resource speaker in the Alternative Class Program Workshop, Untangling the Gordian Knot, a climate crisis situationer and actions you can take, held on November 25, 2022, given this 25th of November 2022 at the Ateneo de Naga University, City of Naga, Philippines. Signed by Rodolfo S.B. Vertus Jr., Director of Student Affairs, Ms. Janet B. Batong Padilla, Executive Director, Office of Mission and Identity, Dr. Alfredo C. Fabay, Vice President for Higher Education, and Father Roberto Ezequiel N. Rivera, University President, Ateneo de Naga University. And of course, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to our speaker, Sir Ryan. Do you have any final note or message to our participants, Sir Ryan? Despite the numerous calls to action, any final
Yes,
message?
yes. Final, siguro, first of all, thank you for this opportunity. And then yung mga nilagay ko sa chat box na mga links, try to check it out. Yung Quantum Klima, yung Party for the Planet, or yung mga may TikTok dyan, sali na kayo. And then lastly, nag-send din ako ng another link dun sa isang project I was involved in, Upturn, which is an inventory of climate adaptation solutions in the Philippines. If you have other questions, I'll leave my email here, and hopefully we can collaborate if there are programs or projects you're interested in, or kung may further queries kayo, just let me know. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you so much. Virtual applause, ladies and gentlemen, to our speaker, Sir Ryan. For this event would not be possible without his presence. Right, at this point, we would like to request our participants to open their camera for a quick souvenir photo opportunity. Of course, for sa online activity, syempre, kailangan ito na ang souvenir natin. Besides sa learning na nakuha natin from our speaker, photo is a very good souvenir. Okay? So let's see if nag-open ka mga ating mga participants. Yan. Thank you for opening your cameras. Yan. Sige. To our documentation committee member.
So I am ready.
So you guys, please ready yourselves.
1, 2, 3, smile. Wait lang po. 14 slides.
O sige. Ano lang guys ha? Picture naman, so Smile lang, smile.
Smile.
Oh, that's okay, Ethan. My profile picture naman. Basta nakasmile ka doon.
Okay na po. Thank you.
Yan. Thank you so much, Carmela, and thank you to our participants for opening their cam. Mahirap din yung gawin. So, to our participants in this workshop, please do not forget to accomplish the online evaluation form to receive your e-certificates. We will be flashing the link on the screen or posting it in the Google Classroom, but most likely dito na lang sa Zoom para sure na kayo talaga yung nag-attend. And of course, please provide the correct information as it will exactly reflect on your certificate. So, wag naman tayo mag-type ng typos, guys. It's your certificate. It's important. And of course, we are grateful for your participation, and we hope to see you in all the future ACP webinars or workshop. Hopefully next semester, ACP na naman kayo dyan. And hopefully workshop na yan kasi in person na Right? Just mabalos po sa Gabos. Thank you so much for being with us today. Hopefully you were able to learn something. And of course, you'll take action in our climate crisis. Once again, I am Jack Ivan D. Audal. It was a pleasure to have been your host for Untangling the Gordian Knot, a climate crisis situationer update, situationer and actions you can take. And remember, I guess if we were to have a final message from me, ako talagang mag-end ng message. If we are going to improve the quality of the environment, The only way forward is to get everyone involved and take what you have learned and help save the environment. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. 300 plus strong participants. Thank you so much for attending the ACP webinar. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Please accomplish the evaluation form.